As you all, most of you all know me, I am Set It Off, Woo Thursday Live Vibe, Karaoke Soul Wednesdays, and so many other events. Hello, Mother Legs, host with the most. And tonight, this is different because I'm used to your energy, and I said it earlier, I'm going to say it again. I need some love, sisters. I got butterflies going through, but I feel as though there's something that needs to be said and some sisterhood connections that need to be made tonight. Again, thank you, Monique, for having me tonight for a Woo Soul sharing session. I am honored, and I just want to come and speak to you guys from my heart. There are moments in our lives that we feel completely alone. We feel as though no one knows what we're going through. And before we think that we're crazy, I'm here to tell you, it is possible to feel alone and not live alone. It is possible to feel alone and not work alone. It is even possible while being in a community and around people in a big crowd and wonder, how does this happen? It's because of the uniqueness of your challenges that confront you. So unique to you that you feel like you're up against this thing by yourself. And generally that type of circumstance is born not necessarily because you don't have anyone to talk to, but it's really, can you trust them with your business? Because generally when we're going through a crisis, don't you believe it's complicated, right? And in order to explain the impact of the crisis, you have to expose things that you do not want to discuss. And you feel like you're taking it with that. You feel as though there's no place to release, and it feels like you're up against the wall. Eventually, the most disciplined of us, guess what? We find ourselves with the corners of our mouths droop down. Your smile will turn into a frown. We become irritable. Attitudes become terrible, and you don't feel like being bothered. Has anybody been to that place lately? And at night, when everyone is asleep, you find tears sometimes falling from the bridge of your nose onto your pillow because you feel like your unique situation is so deep and so complicated that you feel as though you're in this thing by yourself. My sisters of Woo, Miss Monique Nichols sent me here this evening to tell you that you are not in this by yourself. I need everyone on this live that can hear my voice. Type in, I am not alone. Type it in. We're going to learn to speak some things that are, even if you feel as though you are right now, we're going to change our mindsets today. You can see, the thing of it is the strategy for a solution, even when you can't see it. And we're going to make it through this together. How many of you all know that you didn't make it where you are by yourself? Have you ever gotten so down on your luck and you feel like you're up against the wall, right? And guess what? There's no one around. And we all are going through this right now with COVID-19. You see, you have to understand, if you've always been down, then you handle being down a little bit better, right? But if you're used to being treated a certain type of way, and it's not just economic, it could be romantically, it could be dealing with relationships, with friendships. Sometimes you don't feel like praying, if we can be honest. Sometimes you feel emotionally and mentally drained. When you've always been loved, you handle being unloved a certain type of way. And when you've always had a job and something changes and now you're in the unemployment line, and when you are accustomed to shopping at Ross, hello somebody, when you're accustomed to going to King Cajun with your friends, and when you're accustomed to just being able to just woo on one another and going to the movies, and all of a sudden you can't. Anytime you have a massive change, it shocks your system. And you find yourself saying, this is not me. If I can be real, this ain't me. Wait a minute. Eyebrows not done. Nails not done. I can't even go to the store. I want to go to 5 and below and I can't even go. Hello, what is going on, God? This is not me. And we're in a place that you would have never imagined yourself being in. And the very thing that you thought that would never happen, guess what, sisters? It happened. It's happening. Life can sometimes change on you so much that you find yourself in a never thought. Never thought? Never thought I'd be on house arrest and I didn't even commit a crime. Hello. The strong woman that has it all together. Never thought I would be faced with being sick with the deadly virus, and I've always been in good health. I never thought it was a possibility that I would lose my house. I never thought I would be depressed being in my own house. Hello, somebody. I never thought that I didn't even want to be around my own family. Never thought that I would be losing my mind sitting at home just for a few days. Never thought my man that I thought would be there forever would leave. Never thought that that friend that I thought was there for me and always be there for me. We've been in quarantine for 30 days and they haven't even picked up the phone to check up on you. Never thought. Never thought that I would be tired of my own child putting me through hell. Never thought that 11 p.m. would be a curfew and I'm 39 years old. Never thought. Is there anyone viewing this live that has had a never thought moment? In order to walk and fulfill your purpose in spite of your circumstance, we need to periodically be willing to restructure. I'm going to repeat that because there's two words that I really want you all to remember and think about. In order to walk and fulfill your purpose in spite of your circumstance, we need to periodically be willing to restructure. Periodically willing. Two things that we don't like doing, which is wasting our time and repeating things, but we have to periodically be able to reset through this process. It's to get your mind right. If we aren't intentional about restructuring our lives, there is a version of us that will not live. And there's also a version of us that will live that should have died. It's all about what we pour into ourselves and not allow to be planted and remain stagnant in this season. How many times have you made somebody or something a priority and they still have you as an option? I'm going to repeat that. How many times have you made something or someone a priority and they still have you as an option? That could be a relationship. That could be your family. That could be your job. Restructuring is not easy. It's actually very scary. And it requires that we go off of everything that it's letting go of everything that we knew so that we can figure out what we don't know. Sometimes your greatest enemy is not your hater. And guess what, ladies? Sometimes your greatest enemy is not what's under your feet. It's in between your ears, your mind. It's what you tell yourself about who you are. Restructure your thoughts and the paradigms and the rhythms that make you feel like you're not qualified to handle this. You're using the same pieces, but what we're doing is replacing them differently. During restructure, you have to dismantle what you are familiar with so that we can see where to put those pieces. What season you need to put here and what season you need to place there. Thing is, we think dismantling means messing up our lives or tearing us apart, but no, it's actually the difference. It's a difference. It's the opposite. Changing your mindset makes you become more aware. You become more accurate. You become more intentional, being more focused. You find yourself studying more and analyzing everything that is around you. What you see is you have to change your mindset. Changing your mindset has everything to do with what you put in your ear gates, what you see, and what you speak. And I hate to say this, but some of us need to, I'm not going to say unfriend, but there's a button on social media and it says unfollow. How many of us have friends that every time you log on Facebook, they just mess with your spirit? Every time you log on Facebook, they have something negative to say. I don't care if it's your boss, your mama, your daddy, your sister, or your cousin. It's called unfollow for about 30 days. Because I have to, at this point, protect what's going into my spirit, what's going into my ears, what's going into my eyes. Because it's going to mess with all this emotion in my spirit, and I ain't got time for that. And instead of us answering the phone to certain people that's always have gossiping or have something negative to say, sometimes we need to just let them go to voicemail. Can I get an amen? If your friend is worrying about who is sleeping with who, if they worrying about who's messing with who didn't do this, or who got a stimulus check, and they worrying about over here with Donald Trump, guess what? Hundreds of thousands of people are dying. I could care less about gossip right now. I'm trying to make sure my mind is right. I'm trying to make sure I'm going to make it through this. I'm trying to make sure that my family is covered. At the end of the day, instead of looking at the gossip and the murray, put on some comedy. Laugh a little bit. Find a motivational speaker that on a podcast. Make sure that you're picking up the phone to send good vibes to your friends. Make sure you're picking up the phone not to gossip, but to pray for your friends. Your strong friends might not be okay. And that might change daily. Even the strong of us right now is going through. And it's not just financial. Some people right now are just lonely because guess what? You feel as though you have no one to turn to. Right now, some people just are hurting because they have lost family and friends. Also, what we eat, ladies. I don't know about a couple of you. I see Carmen and a couple people, Lolita. Y'all don't have to lose any weight necessarily. But soul food is something that's been in our generation for years. But that's also where that itis comes in. And unfortunately, ladies, guess what? It's not just about the pounds. It makes you sluggish. It makes you lackadaisical. It makes your mind think differently. So if we actually try to put a little something different into our system, we have to feed our souls. Amen. And on top of that, this is going to be crazy to some and maybe not to others. Put on some clothes. How many of you have not gotten dressed in the last maybe 30 days? Your attitude determines your attitude. What you look at in the mirror. When you look better, you feel better. When you feel better, you think better. Guess what? Maybe your kids won't be on your nerves just as much. And dealing with unemployment, we always suggest if you are looking to get a job right now, even if it's looking for a temporary situation, dress yourself for success. Put on your clothes, honey, and say, today is the day I'm going to find this job. I'm going to get online and look good while doing so. I promise you, your mindset would change and you'll feel a lot better. Also, with your children, I encourage you to get them dressed for school. It sounds crazy. Put that book bag on them. Comb the hair. Have the little boys, even if they don't have a haircut, brush it down, baby. Put on your sneakers. And we are in this house going to not only serve the Lord, but what we're going to do is have a right mind. Because if your mind is not right, your attitude's not right. If your attitude's not right, what comes out of your mouth is not going to be right either. Know when something is disturbing your spirit. Self-discovery is key. Take a mirror, take your selfie stick, or whatever you have to do to look at yourself. And type in right now, self-check. Self-check is when you have to be real with you. And we always are quick in relationships and friendships to write out the pros and cons with somebody else. I challenge you ladies today, write out the pros and cons with yourself. Wherever your strengths and your weaknesses lie. Take one of those weaknesses and guess what? Doing that self-check, work on daily, weekly, however long it takes you to take that one weakness and turn it into a strength. If it is being positive and you find yourself being negative, self-check. If it is talking to people the wrong way, because some of us don't know how to talk to the people the right way, self-check. Self-check is where you have to be real with yourself. And being real with yourself has everything to do with the circle that you surround yourself with. Where to put your friends during restructure. We start to see things clearly now, right? So we see what your squad should look like. Some phone calls might need to end with sorry, but I'm not sorry. When I'm restructuring, and I'm going to say this to our single ladies, it includes men. Everything that looks good and feels good ain't always good for us. So maybe I'm sorry, but not sorry. I'm restructuring. Can I get an amen? Say goodbye to some things so that your growth can spring up. So your mind can kick in. So your wisdom can show up. So your creativity can be initiated. The right friends should bring the right you out. I'm going to repeat that again. The right friends should bring out the right you and push you to be the very best version of you. Capital One says, what's in your wallet? Tyesha Williams says, who's in your circle? Self-check. And when you have the right circle, you feel comfortable enough and you trust them enough to admit that you're not okay. Say it to your strong friends if you are not okay. It doesn't mean that you're weak. That means that you're actually trying to be strong. Restructuring, seeing what your finances look like, seeing what your household look like, seeing what we need to move around, what bills we need to pay for here, for there. That's called part of that restructuring process. And we're admitting that you're not okay. Restructuring can't take place unless something dies. There are some things that you lose along the way that does feel good, that you actually do like, but it's necessary to let them go for growth. So that you can show yourself that you can do this with the help of others. You're not going to grow by pretending to be strong, sisters. You become stronger by surrounding yourself with those that help keep your arms lifted and those that help keep your head up high. A true cheerleader, a true friend will make you feel unstoppable. A true friend will make you feel unbreakable. A true friend will have you feeling valued. A true friend will validate you. And guess what? At the end of the day, Naja, a true friend is not just the one that's when you're down. I feel as though a true friend is the one that's when I'm up and you're going to push me to even go harder. I'm doing good, but let's just go a little bit higher. And in this group, I asked you all to place your occupation when you came in. The reason for that is W.O.O is a sisterhood. I challenge each and every one of you. We say we're going to do it, but we don't. You have nothing but time. We are on restriction. I challenge each and every one of you to reach out to someone new. They're entrepreneurs. If you are a CEO and you're looking to be a singer, if you're looking for voice lessons, if you're looking to start a hobby, sewing, we have designers in this group. If you're looking to learn how to cook, we have chefs in this group. If you're looking to actually, guess what? Start a hair salon and you're looking for stylists, there are hairstylists in this group. There are distributors in this group. We all talk about church hurt, but what we don't talk about is friend hurt. Friend hurt is something that people just talk about in their circle. But I'm going to say this, not every sister is bad. Not every sister is messy. And truth be told, boss chicks don't have time for foolishness. When you align yourself with like-minded individuals, you will find yourself soaring higher. You will find yourself purchasing property and land, starting businesses, starting fitness groups, because you are with like-minded people that's not about the mediocre, but we're trying to level up, as Lady T told us earlier in our soul sharing. It is safe to reach out in this group. It is the simple-minded sisters that seem to have the issue, but try trusting. We'll trust a man and try to be with them and give them time after time, help after help. But guess what? Why won't we do it with our sisters? We say no new friends. I say try one at least new friend. Can I get an amen? Because that same person could be the one to pray with you, talk to you, build you, strengthen you up, cry with, exercise, eat with, simply laugh. Like Planet Fitness says, no judgment zone. W.O.O is a no judgment zone. I don't want you all to just hear me on that. I'm going to say it again. I want you to feel me. Try reaching out to someone new. And you will be amazed how sometimes it would take you to higher heights. Because when we're dealing with familiar people, sometimes they're so accustomed to us that they don't bring out the best in us. And being able to say help. Does anyone agree that this COVID-19 has changed our life circumstance? And you see, majority of our W.O.O sisters are bosses who are usually the ones who are always in control. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you had a choice of you or someone else having the upper hand, you prefer it be you with the upper hand, right? Most people would rather make the decision than allow someone else to make the decisions for them pertaining to their life. Most would rather be the lender than the borrower. And there are certain vulnerable, it's just something about asking for help or receiving help that makes us vulnerable when you're needing someone. And most of us don't like feeling like we're depending on someone. It's sort of like they're having your life in their hands. The thing of it is, it's all about team building. And how you look at it, it's not handing me down. It's just us working together to accomplish the task at hand. It requires for you to be humble. During this season, we must remain humble. Take pride and put it to the side. Sister, if you are struggling financially, you better get on that unemployment website. I don't care if it takes 50 times if you're going on there. Some of us never have been on food stamp assistance. But guess what? You have to humble yourself through this season and go on and log on. Take it, sis. At the end of the day, it's about being humble enough to be able to receive. Being able to do this so that you can do this. That nobody's too good right now. We all need one another. Last but not least, I say is let it go. My time is running near. I'm like the pastor. I'm on my last closing. Last but not least, let it go. It's different coping mechanisms that are not so deep. Sometimes you need to just simply scream to the top of your lungs. If you don't live alone and you don't feel people feel so you're crazy, get in your car, sister, hold on to that steering wheel, scream out anxiety, scream out anger, scream out whatever negativity. If tears come, let it go. If the horn go off, push it. At the end of the day, let it go. Anxiety will not last. Loneliness will not last. Get a pillow. I said it in Brown Girls Things. They laughed at me. Take that pillow, sisters. Take the broom handle. Hit it as much as you possibly can. Let that stuff out. People snap because they let too much stuff sit in their system, in their spirit, in their mind. Let it go. Say, let it go. Breathing skills, relaxation and meditation, calm breathing and calm counting always work. That's even when you get a bad phone call, something on your nerves. You can't necessarily scream. Also with that, you can also do that when you on the road with road rage. Last but not least, for my spiritual sisters, speak it into existence. Speak it into the existence. The currency of the miraculous is on the tip of your tongue. The breakthrough of your relationship is on the tip of your tongue. The solution to peace in your household is at the tip of your tongue. And we have to learn how to reprogram ourselves. Encourage yourself. Speak those things that aren't as if they were. The devil is a lie if he thinks that we're going to go through this alone. The devil is a lie, his mama, his sister, and his baby mama too. You are not in this by yourself. You don't have to be in this alone if you allow someone to help you. You didn't come this far to fail, my sisters. You don't have to deal with life by yourself, and you have the power over the storm. You have power over your troubles. You have power over loneliness. You have power over anxiety. You have power over anger. And just in case there is someone that feels that your dreams have been interrupted, your life has been interrupted, or guess what? You're being fought hard in key areas of your life. If you feel like you cannot get free, if you haven't been able to get a breakthrough, this right here is for you. If there is anyone that needs a resurrection in any area of your life, this is for you. If you need a refreshing of hope, an explosion of joy, an insulin of peace, this is for you. Listen, God already made up his mind about who you are, and what he has spoken will not return back to heaven void. It will fulfill that for which he has sent it. I encourage you, my ladies of W.O.O, to keep standing, even though you may be weeping. Stand through depression, stand through recession, stand through unemployment, stand through your kids being at home, stand through relationship obstacles, stand through feeling alone, stand through Donald Trump talking reckless, stand through what it looks like, and focus on seeing your life change for the better. Before you can physically see it, you have to believe it. I encourage you, my sisters, to stand. Just 1 ounce of faith will move mountains, cure illness, restore relationships, and make you whole. W.O.O is here for you. Reach out. Reach out. Challenge yourself. Allow yourself to trust. I am here for you. You know, Monique loves each and every one of you, even if she don't know you. She don't know a stranger. God loves you. Thank you all for taking out a moment in your day. I pray that this touched somebody somewhere in any area. I love y'all so much. Stand. And I promise you, sisters of W.O.O, you shall see better days. God bless y'all.